Hello YouTube! It is so close to the end of the year now, it's insane. So I hit 1,000 subscribers last week. It was so exciting. I never thought this channel would get to where it is now. And I know that in all of the milestones you can hit in YouTube, this is still a pretty small one, but it still means so much to me because I never thought so many people would want to watch my content. That being said, when I hit 1,000 subscribers, I realized that I had never done the Booktube Newbie Tag. So I figured, in honor of hitting 1,000 subscribers, that's something I'm going to do. And I couldn't believe it because I've been on YouTube since I think March of 2017, and yet I have still never done the Booktube Newbie Tag. So in honor of hitting 1,000 subscribers, I'm gonna do the Booktube Newbie Tag now. The first question is, why did you start this channel? The thing is, I didn't originally start this channel as a booktube channel. I started this channel originally as a way of updating my friends about what was going on with my life. I had just moved to North Carolina, I needed a new hobby. So this was just a way of talking about life and whatever I really wanted. In fact, the most viewed video on this channel isn't even a bookish video. It's a video about Ian Curtis and mental health, which I can link above and below. I think that video currently has about 78,000 views on it. It's still my most popular content to date. I don't know what to do about that. That video is probably responsible for my first 200 subscribers. But yeah, this was not meant to be a bookish channel until much later. I went to NerdCon Nerdfighteria in Boston. I think this was around February 2017. I went to a booktube event hosted by Christine from Poland Bananas Books and Kat from Katie-tastic. And I realized that this was something that I should have been doing all along. I've been following so many bookish channels, and I'd been kind of getting back into reading after uni. I didn't really have a way to share the thoughts about all these new books I was reading. Then I went to the NerdCon book event and I realized the answer was staring me right in the face. Like, of course I wanted to talk about books. What else should I be talking about on this channel? So I made my first wrap up and the rest is history. The next question is, what are some fun and unique things you can bring to booktube? I feel like everyone on booktube has their own unique personality and perspective. Some people are more chill, some people are more energetic. Different booktubers read different genres. I know I have my own perspective on books, and I also have certain books that I like to read. I find that people are ultimately drawn to personalities, whatever they watch on YouTube, and even if it's the same type of content, people always have their own spin on it. So I guess this is kind of a cop-out, so I guess I bring me to YouTube. No one is going to make booktube content exactly like me. No one is going to have the exact same perspective as me. What are you most excited for about this new channel? I'm mostly excited about growth. I mean, hitting 1,000 was a big thing for me. And also, I think being part of a community. Booktube is a community, and I don't think I really appreciated it enough before. And really just making more content and more bookish content that I enjoy. Why do you love reading? Well, reading is really such an immersive experience. I've always loved the recursive nature of stories. No one reading experience is the same. No one interpretation of a story is exactly the same. And even if people tell the same types of stories, no one version is the same. I love that you can read and in turn change your own consciousness. And now as an aspiring writer, I appreciate a lot more that reading is really our only apprenticeship. What book or series got you into reading? It's hard to say. I always really loved reading. From when I was able to hold a book open in my hands, I always loved reading. I know that when I was really little, I loved fairy tales. I loved different fairy tale collections. I loved looking at different illustrations in fairy tale books. And of course, I loved abridged classics. I don't know if anyone remembers these, but I read Ladybird books. I think they published a lot of books for kids, and they were either fairy tales or abridged classics. You could also order audiobook narrations of those books. I think at one point my mom actually procured Cantonese translations of those audiobooks, as well as editions of Ladybird books with Chinese words under the English words. So I guess you could say any fairy tale books available to kids, those probably got me into reading. What questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? I think primarily how you balance booktube with actual reading, because I find that the more you do booktube, the less time you actually have for reading. There's so much time that goes into curating bookish content, planning bookish content, and then on top of that you have to edit it, which is a whole other thing. What challenges do you think starting a booktube channel channel will be the hardest to overcome. This is more personal to me, but the fact that my most popular content is different from my bookish content, the two don't really jive. I still get comments sometimes asking me, why don't you make more Ian Curtis videos? Why don't you make more videos about music? And it's not that I have abandoned that content, it's just that I'm interested in being on Booktube. And I guess being more creative and making my bookish content stand out. When did you start reading? My mom actually started reading to me when I was about 2 months old, like flipping open books and turning the pages in front of me. So as long as I can remember, I liked reading. Even before I could read words, I loved reading. Even when I could only look at pretty pictures in books, I loved books and reading. I think at one point I took some books about British history off of my mom's bookshelf and started reading them, probably because I liked looking at the outfits in them. But yeah, since infancy pretty much. I think there are even pictures of me as a toddler in my crib and I'm asleep and I have a book in my hands. Where do you read? Pretty much anywhere. I read in my bed before going to sleep. I can read on planes, I read on public transportation. I always have an audiobook with me if my hands and eyes need to be occupied. I think the only place I can't read is in the car. What kind of books do you like to read? I like adult and YA fantasy. I like some sci-fi. I also love literary fiction, especially historical fiction. As for nonfiction, I like essayists like David Sedaris. And also I've been getting really into books about magic, the occult, and tarot. So that's it for the Booktube Newbie Tag. If you are also new to YouTube and you haven't done this tag, I welcome you to do it. You are all tagged. Also, I've been thinking about something I want to do in honor of getting 1,000 subscribers. So let me know in the comments if you'd like me to do something extra, like a Q&A video. In the meantime, you can follow me on Twitter and Goodreads. Subscribe to my channel if you like my content, and I will see you in my next video.